Hey, good morning. Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday. Time to get the day on the road. Is anybody looking at the super blue blood moon? Good morning, Antonio. You're not out looking at the moon? We were out a little earlier and took some pictures, and I plan to go back out and check it out. Great morning, Sean Hill, millionaire Sean. Great morning. I need to do this real quick. Great morning, everybody. I wanted to come on and give you a few words of encouragement from the Chronicles of Cree and get your day off to a fantastic start. And that's what that is. I'm still dealing with a little of this, whatever this stuff is in my throat. So hopefully we'll be able to get through it today. But I just want to come on and encourage you today. Today is Wednesday and it's January 31st. Like, January is done. January 2018 done. Never to see it again. It's done. And we're ready to move on into this new month, February. And so our topic for today is no excuses. There are no excuses. No excuses. And I thought about no excuses. Good morning, Carolyn. No excuses, because we have so many, good morning, Susan, so many excuses as to, why we can't do this and why we can't do that. We just have too many of them and we feel like they're valid. And because we feel so strongly about them being valid excuses, we don't get stuff done. Murray and Robert, we don't get stuff done. And so I thought about that and I said, well, okay, so what can I do to improve in that area? What do I need to do? Because I always start with myself, because even though people say, the world needs to change, the world needs to change, the world needs to change. Mark, can you check your text, please? The world needs to change. We have to be the ones who initiate the change. And so we have all these excuses, as to why things are the way that they are. And I want to start with thinking about how, we rear our children and how we are real quick to be judgmental of other people and how they raise their children. Yet and still, we have excuses as to why our kids don't do this, as to why they don't do that. You have excuses as to why they don't go to church. You have excuses as to why they don't go to school when they want to. And it's basically because you've asked them if they want to go to school and they said no. You've asked them if they want to go to church and they've said no. Okay, whole nother segment, right? So the results aren't always the results you want to get when we allow so much freedom. But because we've allowed all of these excuses to be valid, those are the consequences that we have. I've never seen so many children who are allowed to have so many options when it comes to, oh, you don't feel well, you don't want to go to school. Okay, you're not running a temp. You don't have type A or type B flu. You just don't want to go because you don't want to, but you think you're going to lay up in my house and be on your YouTube and your Instagram all day? Oh, no, okay. I've never seen so many excuses, so many people who accept all these excuses for others and also for themselves. However, I've never seen so many people trying to do things on their own. Mark, will you please check your text messages? Can somebody tell Mark to get his phone? For real. So, I sat down and I thought, okay, what are the habits that I'm forming each day? What are the habits that I need to break each day? What are they? What are they? And what excuses do I have for not establishing new habits? And what excuses do I have for not getting rid of the bad habits? That makes you take a hard look at yourself. And sometimes we don't want to do that because we want to think that we're so good, right? We do. And it's okay to need improvement. So when I sat down and I thought about it this morning, I said, well, okay, it's procrastination. You know how some of us go work on another job and we're there all day long, crazy stuff happens, and then you come in and you're just like, whoo, I'm glad that's over. And you do that day after 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 day. And it's like you just can't quite pull it together because you've been serving others all day. The excuse becomes, I'm so tired, and physically you're drained. You're like so not energized because you've given everything to, other people. But that's really an excuse that sounds good. Think about it. I'm tired. I've worked all day for somebody else, and right now I just want to sit on the couch and vegetate. But even though you might feel like that's a really good excuse, how much closer is it getting you to your goal? Talking to me now. How much closer is it getting toward your goal? Yeah, you're tired. Yeah, you're exhausted. Yeah, you poured into others all day long, and you do it day after day after day after day after day. But how is that helping you to move forward? Good morning, Yolanda. Good morning. Miss Joy says, I totally agree. I'm glad. Because it's like, even though we're pouring into others and we're doing it every day, we come up with these excuses, and then the end result is we don't get done what we need to have done. And so there are no valid excuses. And so when you look at people who are really successful, and people who've gone far in life, and people who we call great thought leaders, people who are motivational speakers, inspirational speakers, life coaches, life engineers, whatever that title is, when you listen to them, they all have one thing in common. They all worked hard, and they did it after hours while they were working for somebody else. So I asked myself, well, what makes me different? What makes me different? Is their tired different from my tired? Is that person like given more time in the day than I am? Like, what makes them different from me? What makes me think I'm exempt? What makes me think that doesn't apply to me? There are no excuses. So sometimes you'll see people take a sabbatical from social media, and they're going, great morning, Tina, and they're gone for 6 months, and they come back and they've done all these amazing things because to them, the social media was maybe a distraction. That's where we have to really take a hard look at ourselves when we're trying to get rid of the excuses. What are the distractions? What are those things that keep you from following your heart and your soul to work? What are those things that keep you from moving forward in your dreams? What excuses are you coming up with? Antonio says, I tell my children, excuses do not pay bills. They do not have value and have no substance. They don't. They work for the people who use them, but you're telling your kids right. Sean says, we have labored all day and caught nothing. But at thy word, we are going to launch out into the deep. And you know what? When you launch out into the deep sea, you can't see. You can't see. I'm not a swimmer at all. I don't even aspire to be. And I know that out when I see the Gulf, when we're on the coast and the water changes colors and it's real dark out there, to me that signifies deep. But see, when you launch out into the deep, you can't see what's there. But on faith, you just launch out knowing you're going to be okay. So either God is going to give you the ability to swim, or He's going to have you walking on the water. I don't know. He does what He wants to do. But even though sometimes it feels like you've labored all day long and you've caught nothing, because that's how it is with us. And Sean, that's like the perfect example. And it's biblical. Thank you. Because a lot of us labor and we work. And we have to aspire to do more than work to pay bills. We have to aspire to do more than to work 40 years and then retire, and then you can barely live off of what you've made. Like, I think about that, and I'm like, why didn't nobody, why I wasn't told that? Why I wasn't taught that when I was trying to get these degrees? Like, why didn't somebody come and tell me and go, well, you know what? You're going to work 40 years, and if you retire, you're going to retire off maybe, you'll be living off maybe 40%. Well, y'all say I'm getting 100% now, minus all these taxes and stuff, so it's really not 100, and I can hardly live off of that. So you mean to tell me I'm trying to live off 40% after I've worked 40 hours a week for 40 years? Oh, no, it's got to be a better way than that. It's got to be. It's like, it just has to be a different way. Because we're much more than that. We're much more than 40 hours with someone else and 2 hours a week on our own stuff. I don't ever do it. No. So as we journey through life, we have to figure out these excuses. They say it takes 21 days to establish a habit. A lot of us give up on day 3 or 4. If you think I'm playing, go and look at the parking lot at the gyms right now. Today is January 31st at 6:32 a.m. Drive by the gym and see how many people are in the parking lot. Now, granted, it's probably some people there who spend all their life in the gym and they don't do anything else. Well, gym rats is what we call them, but good for you. But guess what? When we have labored all day and still caught nothing, is it because you labored all day and you caught nothing because you was working for somebody else? Because it's different when you labor all day and catch nothing, but you're working for yourself. No, you might not have physically caught anything, but maybe you caught Sean talking about credit repair. Maybe you called me and I said, okay, I can help you get in the home of your dreams. I just need you to go ahead and let's meet and we're going to sit down and go over paperwork and I'll walk you through the process. See, it's different when you labor all day and you catch, quote unquote, nothing when you're doing it for yourself, because it looks like it's nothing to you. But when you rather labor all day and catch nothing working in your own stuff, than to labor all day and get caught up working for somebody else? I'm asking. Carolyn says we labor all day for others and continue to waste all the juice out of our own cup. We do. And that's it. And then when the juice is gone, Carolyn, we're trying to pour from an empty cup. You can't pour from an empty cup. That's like a creditor calling you going, you owe us $500. We want to know if you're going to pay today. And your response is, no, I'm not going to pay today. I'm not going to pay tomorrow. I'm not going to pay next week because I don't have it. We want our money and we need you to pay. I don't have it, so what are you going to do? I can't pour from an empty cup. And that's what we have to remind ourselves of. We can't pour from an empty cup. So when we're out there laboring all day and we've caught nothing because we've been working somebody else's field, what do you think the end result is going to be if we keep that pattern up? You can't pour from an empty cup. So we have to balance it. And there has to be order. I decided that I was just going to read all I could find on what successful people do. So I found a book, and I think I mentioned it before. It's called What the Most Successful People Do Before Breakfast by Lauren Vanderkamp. I know her last name is Vanderkamp. It might be Lauren Vanderkamp. But she talks about what the most successful people do before breakfast. Well, guess what? It's completely different from what poor people do. It is. And good morning, Rosa. So as I was reading it, I was like, man, oh, okay. But then as I was reading other authors, it's like there's a common thread throughout the everybody's story. They worked hard, and even when they were working for other people, they didn't make excuses when it came time to work on themselves. I had a business meeting last night, and I was there for a couple of hours. It was so good. And I was like, man, I'm so tired. But I was energized by the conversation. And it was pushing and pulling me so until when I got home, I couldn't even lay down and go to sleep. So I woke up this morning at 4 o'clock and I was like, oh man, well, it's like 4:05. I was like, man, I just need to sleep just a little while longer. And I tried. But I was so excited because it energizes you to know that, okay, now you're walking towards your purpose. You're walking in your passion. You're doing what you've been designed to do. A lot of times we get caught up in what other people want us to do. Well, this is the excuse. Well, my mom's a teacher, so I'm going to go ahead and be a teacher. Or my dad's a preacher. I'm going to go ahead and be a preacher. Well, guess what? If God didn't call you, boo, don't preach. Oh, I already know the scripture next you want to throw at me. It's called whom he calls, he qualifies. Yeah, some are called and some just went. So don't just do it because other people do it. Don't just do it because it sounds good to do. Don't just do it because it's a good salary involved. Robert says you got to clock out of one job that provides and then clock into your life job. Woo, there is no rest for the weary. Not if you want it bad enough. And you're right. You do. And literally that's what you have to do. You have to clock out of one job and into the next. And that's how you set yourself up for success, is because you can't allow excuses to come in. There is no rest for the weary. Angie says, work for your money, make your money work for you, then make your money work for you. Girl, oh, she said, work for your money, make your money work for you, and then make your money work for your money. Warren Buffett. Okay. Now, I think that's a great example to use. And that way we can see each other on the beaches of the world and not be sitting up in the damn doctor's office looking at pictures of the beach in the magazines. Because guess what? That's going to be some of our stories. Girl, I ain't going to be able to do that because, it's just so hard and my credit not right. Call Sean Hill. And I just, never get out of this apartment. We'll call Cree Perryman. I can help you get in the house. We're going to call Sean. We're going to get your credit right. They won't help you get in the house. It's like, it's too much information around for us to have all these excuses as to why we're not moving forward. Angie Unleashed. You doggone right. But see, that's what we have to do. Warren Buffett has made a name for himself. And if he can have humble beginnings and end up this billionaire, why is it that the dream and that idea seems to be so big and so magnified to us until it's out of our range or it's out of reach? So we have to change the way we think and see things. We have to change perspectives. Sometimes we have to do a little more sifting and shifting than what we want to do, because that's the only way you're going to figure it out. See, some people give up because you fail once and you fail twice. Oh, Lord, third time. You want to get all religious. 3 times. That 3 is a special number. And I failed 3 times. And that's a sign that, I don't need to do that. It's a sign. Well, I don't see the number 3 that way. And the number 3 means a lot to me. It is a special number, but I don't think of it like that. Angie says another is, if you're not making money while you're sleeping, you will work until you die. And Angie, you know what? You sure right. You have to be. And it's like, I'm not there yet. I'm not making money while I'm sleeping. You gotta physically go get that and come back with that. But how many of us were taught how to let our money make money for us? Well, guess what? We behind. We weren't taught that. So now we got to figure out how to do it. If you're working on a job anywhere, you need to be talking to somebody who can help you establish good credit, get you a savings account, teach you about Roth IRAs and where to roll your money over into some really good interest-bearing accounts that are going to yield you some great results during retirement, unless your ass want to be at Walmart in retirement. I talked to a lady who works at Walmart who retired from a well-known popular company, and she said, girl, I'm just here. This is her. Girl, I'm just here because I need to get out the house. I said, honey, that sure is a wonderful reason to get out. It's a wonderful reason to be standing here in Walmart, not because your life depends on it and your next meal depends on it. It is by choice to be a Walmart greeter, not because you have to be. I just don't believe that we're supposed to go through our life like that. Have you ever seen people? Do you know people? The answer is yes. You know people who worked like dogs their entire life and then they die. They don't even get to enjoy retirement. They died before retirement came. That's like a sad story to me. Because you don't take the time to get to enjoy life because you're too busy making a living. And we can't just be too busy making a living that we forget to live. Like, I don't want to do that. Y'all heard the phrase, the buck stops here. It needs to stop here. It needs to stop with you. People talk about all the time, well, my mom, she didn't graduate from high school, and she had me when she was 15, and then she had another baby when she was 16, and she had another baby when she was 17, she had another when she was 18, and another when she was 19. Okay, and what does that have to do with you? You were born first, because you're the oldest. Oh, you don't want to follow in those footsteps? Oh, baby, nobody said you had to. What are you gonna do that's different? So stop the generational curses, as people want to call them. Stop it. Like, you can. You have the power to do it. But we have to change our mindset. We have to change the way we see. The way we see things, the way we think about it. It can't be that, you're always going, well, I don't think I'm going to ever be able to have my own business. I don't think I'm going to. And you dwell on that. And it gets all in your spirit and in your subconscious. And before you know it, that's what happens. Conferences, we haven't had money to talk about. We haven't had money to talk about what to do with. Been talking about how to get them right. We've always been talking about how to go get a job, go get a job, go get a job, go get a job. I heard that too, but thankfully I had grandparents who said you got to go to school, and they call college school. You got to go to school. You got to go to school. We didn't go, but you have to go, and I'm grateful for that. I trade Forex currency, and it's a $5 trillion trade industry daily. Many of our people have never heard of it. That's true, Angie, but that's why we have to be educated financially. And that means that sometimes we're going to have to spend some time in some seminars, time talking to people, time, going to conferences so that we educate ourselves. So a lot of times we do have degrees that are on the wall, but sometimes we don't know what to do with it. We were trained to do one thing well, maybe two things well. And the degrees sit on the shelf here. When they collect us, I wipe them off every now and then. But that didn't teach me how to go out and create my own and build my own. It taught me how to go and do what I studied. Yeah, right. I agree too. So that's why it's important to build a team of people that you can talk to and go to and bounce ideas off of, because like minds think alike. Great minds think alike. They do. So if your mind is like my mind and we're both, on the same page when it comes to building more, having more, and doing more and living better, then when I talk to you about my ideas, they don't seem foolish to you. They don't. So there are no excuses. There are no excuses for not having what you need. Everybody in the world knows Christmas is December the 25th. Why are you asking for help? You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. You know your mom's birthday. How you not get her a gift to do anything for her? You knew it was coming. So it's like we know all this stuff. We have all these excuses as to why we don't do it. And those are just small examples, but it's the truth. Ray says Warren Buffett bought his first stock at 11 years old. And you know what, Ray? Think about this. Think about this. Think about this. How was he able to do it? Who told him about it? What conversations did he hear? What conversations did he hear? And then look at what conversations our children hear. Angie says, inbox me. I will teach and work with anyone. I don't believe we should be working for people. I work for myself. I don't even have my degrees hanging. Angie, I have mine hanging, but guess what? They didn't teach me that. Yeah. So that's why I say, I'm grateful for school. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to go. I love school and I'm a lifelong learner. However, there were some things that I just didn't get taught, and I'm not by myself. Ray says school teaches you to go to school and obtain more debt. It will. And thankfully, boo, I got right on up out of there without debt. Yes, was able to do that. Don't owe anybody student loans. They can't call me. So when I graduated, that was it. I graduated, got the degree, and walked out. No debt. So I'm grateful for that, but I had to work like a dog. Yes, I did. But I was able to do it. Mark says retirement are for those that work for someone else. Entrepreneurs are always getting it in. That's true. That's true. That's true. Entrepreneurs are always getting it in, and they don't understand the concept of I can't do it. They don't. They don't understand that. And they're looking at you like, is that what you understand? Is that what you believe? Because that's so against what they believe. And today I'm grateful for the opportunity to know and understand that no excuse I make is valid. Like, there aren't any when it comes to me and moving forward and doing more. And just look around, y'all. It's people doing some great things. You don't have to look far. And then there's some people who aren't doing anything. They have a lot to say. The Bible says it's like sounding brass and a tinkling cymbal. Everybody got something to say. But where are the encouragers? Where are the cheerleaders in your corner? Where are the people who are pumping you up and helping you stay full so that when you pour from your cup, it's still full. It's overflowing and it doesn't get empty because you got people pouring into you. See, I like that kind of friendship and that kind of circle of friends is what I'm trying to say. That group, that niche of people who are able to pour into you so that you're never pouring from an empty cup. That's what life is about. We weren't meant to just be here and pay bills and that's it. And then you can't pay them. You want to call and put half on it and all that old stuff. And pay $2 to have electricity for one day. I first heard that, I said, what is, huh? Like I got $8 worth of electricity left. What does that mean? I'm not trying to put anybody down. I just didn't know what it meant. God wants us to have more. He does. Now, if you can show me in the Word where He doesn't, I'll buy you the cup of coffee. And we can sit down and talk. Because, thank you, Raph. It's like we got it all backwards. God's people are prosperous people. We're not people walking around without hope and people walking around all destitute and looking tore up from the floor up and broke. That's not His people. Antonio says, I'm going to say no matter what, I'm thankful for what I'm learning from all of you. I choose to not. I didn't get it all, Antonia. Oh, to not have excuses. That's right. And that's what we have to do. And so no matter what it is that you have to do during the day, yeah, robbing Peter to pay Paul. And then, it's just so much that goes into it. But I don't want people to think I'm trying to down talk anybody. I'm not. I'm just saying God wants us to have more. Like, you have access to all this knowledge and technology and information overload. So no excuses. As you go throughout your day today, think about the things that you make excuses for. Draw a big old circle across them, draw the line across, and then put invalid. There are no valid excuses when it comes to moving forward. You see the examples that are set before you. You see all these people who've done what you're trying to do. Tap into it. We don't have valid excuses. Yeah, they sound good and they may work, but how is it helping you move forward? So as you go throughout today, I want you to take a really hard look at that and look at what you're doing and see if it's helping you move closer to your goals, okay? I want to see everybody at the top because the bottom is too crowded, is where 97% of the people are. They're happy being there. They are happy being there because nothing is required of them. Nobody's asking them for anything, and they want you to stay there because it's comfortable. It's not any friction. It's not any movement going on. They're just happy being there, and they want your company. We want to move up to where 3% of the people are, where you are living the dream and living the life, and you're on the beaches of the world, and you're exploring the world, and you're doing all this, and not just hearing about it on TV. Robert says, you mentioned this once before. We don't know how to lift each other up. We don't. Networking is everything. Antonia said, you just helped me figure out how I want to arrange my vision board. Okay, that's good. Share it with me when you're done. Share it with me. Carolyn says, a lot of people have a lot to say, but not saying a thing. Unlike you, Cree, with great words to help. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome, cuz. And let me tell you something. A lot of people do have a lot to say, so weed it out. Weed it out. Weed it out. Angie says, Forex currency trading is open 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. No excuses not to learn how to trade and make extra money. So if you're interested in Forex currency trading, everybody look up Angie Carter. She's on the live now and she can assist with that. If you are interested in credit repair, you need to hook up with Sean Hill, who was on here. If you Sean says if your excuses work, you won't. I agree. That needs to be on a t-shirt, Sean. It needs to be on a t-shirt. Many ways to make money instead of watching TV. Girl, please. TV, like, I love Netflix. Nobody likes it more than me. I just don't have time for it. Don't have time. But I want to see everybody at the top because the bottom is too crowded. It's Wednesday. Get out. Make it happen. Do something for yourself today. And try and do something for someone else. That's why we're all here, is to encourage and lift each other up. Have a great day. I'll see you here tomorrow, okay? Bye-bye.